everyone, I'm Rachel.
Hi, and I'm Brenda.
And welcome to the Mama Doc Baby Doc podcast. We're so excited for this new adventure with you guys. This is going to be our first introduction episode, and we're going to talk about who we are, why we decided to start this project together, and kind of like what all this podcast is about. We both really hope that you enjoy listening to us talk to each other as much as we enjoy talking to each other. Let's go ahead and get started. So first we're going to talk about who we are. And surprise, we're mom and daughter. That's my mom.
Hi.
And I'm 30. Hey. Hey, Mom.
Hi, Rachel.
I'm 36 years old, and my mom here is 39.
I think I'm 39. Yeah, 39, right. You know, when Rachel was younger, I was always 29. I was 29 for probably like 20 years, I think. And then when she turned 29, I had to be a little older, so I decided to be 39 when she turned 29. Anyway, Rachel is my oldest, and when she was growing
up, in 3 years you'll have to be 49.
Stop. Well, Rachel's my oldest daughter, and when she was growing up, everybody called her Little Renda all the time.
Now, as an adult, I guess I can see, we're kind of a little similar. When I was a teenager, no way. I was nothing like you.
But you do have a lot of the same.
We're so similar.
We are really similar. So I'm a mom of 7, and Rachel is a soon-to-be new mom. Yay, Rachel.
Yay, in 4 weeks.
Oh my goodness, 4 weeks. That's crazy. Well, my 7 children, Rachel's the oldest, and then I have Matthew, who lives in Raleigh, North Carolina, and Mary Catherine, who lives in Johnson City, Tennessee. Hannah lives here with me in Homer, Alaska, and Emily also here in Homer, Alaska. Then little Edson, my husband is also named Edson. Little Edson lives in Honolulu, Hawaii. I think he's the smartest of all of us. And
jealous.
Yeah, me too. And then Eob also lives here in Homer, Alaska. So I live in Homer. Rachel lives in Colorado Springs, Colorado. So tell us about you, Rachel.
Yeah, we just moved here. Me and my husband, John, we just moved here to Colorado Springs, and we love it so far. I always say, ask me after the winter and see if I still love it. But so far, so good. We really like it. It's actually pouring snow right now, so it's great. I love it. But yeah, so we just moved here about 8 months ago, and on the day we were packing our U-Haul truck to move here, I took a pregnancy test and found out I was pregnant with a little boy. Yay. So we are going to be having a little boy here in 4 weeks, 3.5 weeks, I guess. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. And it'll be her first, so she's very excited about all the things to come with labor and delivery and then having a newborn. Yay.
Yeah, very, very excited. Another thing that's really similar about us is we both really love to travel. We love to do kind of like adventurous things. When I was growing up, Mom took me and we climbed Kilimanjaro a couple times. I think you climbed to base camp of Everest, right, Mom?
Yeah, I like trekking and hiking. Yeah, we went to Everest Base Camp a few years ago.
Yeah, so fun. So I've been a lot of places in my life, and I have a list 1,000,000 miles long of all the other places I want to go to. So I hope
me
boys
too.
Go on trips.
Yeah. We also both really love people, and we love our jobs and taking care of people. And I'm really super proud of Rachel because she's done a lot of work in Tanzania and Ecuador. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that, Rachel?
Yeah, well, I really have been to Tanzania and Ecuador working in different hospitals and doing really cool things. I've had a lot of really cool opportunities in med school and residency, and even before that too, working in hospitals, just volunteering time and caring for people. I think one of the things I always say is, you don't become a pediatrician for the money. Definitely not. You become a pediatrician because you really love people and you love helping them. And, having a baby is a huge part of people's lives, and just being there with them through that and encouraging them is awesome. So, I've been a lot of places globally, Tanzania, Ecuador. I think, Mom, you've been a lot of places too, like Kenya, right? I think.
Yeah. I've done a little bit of volunteer work in Kenya, but loving to travel. My husband and I just this year we've made our last continent. We've been to every continent, including Antarctica now. So, yeah. Adventure.
Yeah. So fun. But, yeah, so we both wanted to start this podcast together to kind of talk about things like that as well. Mom, why don't you tell them kind of like your med school journey, why you decided that you wanted to do that, a little bit about that?
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, I kind of went into medicine a little bit later in life. I actually had gone to college, gotten an associate's degree, wasn't really sure what I wanted to do with my life, and was working and married. And 22 when I found out I was pregnant with my first, Rachel. That was you. And my birth experience, which we'll get into a little bit more in some of the future podcasts, was interesting. At 22, I had no clue, no idea about anything really, but especially nothing about what was going to happen to me during my birth. And then right after Rachel was born, like just a few hours later, she became really ill and had to be transported by a helicopter to a hospital an hour and a half away, because we were in a small rural town, and she was sent to a children's hospital in Akron, Ohio. We were in Ohio then. And being a new mom, they didn't want to let me leave with her back then, even though I'd had a vaginal delivery. So I signed myself out against medical advice and drove to Akron and sat at her bedside in the NICU for weeks. And it was during that time that I really felt like I wanted to be a doctor. That's when it came to me, because sitting next to her bed in the NICU, I was there every minute that they would let me be there. It was a teaching hospital, so there were residents and there were medical students, and they would come by with their attendings, and they would present all the babies and what was going on with them to their attendings. And I remember I would get kicked out of the NICU occasionally when they were doing special things, and I went to the medical library and started researching some of that was before we had Google. Yeah, it was before Google. And I started researching in the library and getting articles about the different medications that she was on. And I remember asking the resident, why are you giving my daughter gentamicin when one of the side effects is it can cause her to go deaf? Why don't you pick a different antibiotic? And the resident didn't even know that that was a side effect of the medicine. And I figured that out. So I think listening to the students and residents, I started to realize that, hey, I knew as much as they did about taking care of my baby. And so that was really the impetus for me going to med school. So when Rachel was, about 2, I went back to college, got my bachelor's degree in biology, and then went on to medical school. So Rachel really has been with me through medical school and residency. I think you remember a lot of it too.
Yeah, I really do. And, you know, a lot of people ask me all the time, why I also went into medicine, and I started a little bit later too, because, I feel like I always kind of knew that's what I wanted to do, but when your parent's a doctor, you feel like, I don't want to do it just because they're doing it.
And plus, you saw how hard it was and all the things that we had to do.
I did. Yeah. I saw the good, the bad, the ugly. I remember going to medical school classes when I was sick and couldn't go to daycare, and
that's right. I would put you on a little blanket underneath my desk, and you would stay there.
And I remember it was boring. And it was dark, and I don't know, I saw all of the good and the bad stuff. I even remember residency, you going through it when I was in, elementary school and middle school even, and all the late nights you had to do. Sometimes you wouldn't come home all night. And I remember one time you calling because you were so tired after working I don't know how many hour-long shift, and you needed someone to talk to you to come home, to drive home so you wouldn't fall asleep on the drive. Like, I really saw all the good, the bad, and the ugly through it all. But, after college, got this job being a newborn hearing screener. And I think that's one of the first times I was also like you, like kind of like your experience. I was really like, I really enjoy this. I enjoy like being there for parents when they are having a new baby, explaining things to them. Like, if your newborn doesn't pass the hearing screen first time, it's okay. And I was working in the hospital, so I was going in and out of all of the rooms of all the new parents and working with the new little babies. And so I think that's when I really realized too, this is what I want to do too. I don't know why I'm messing around doing other things. This is what I was meant to do. And so, so I think we've had kind of similar experiences.
Yeah, we have for sure. And Rachel, you're so good at it. You're so good with children and with babies. So it was the perfect fit for you all along. I know going through, you were not sure if you wanted to do OB like me, or if you wanted to be a family practitioner and take care of all different patients through all ages. But then you finally settled on pediatrics, and I think it was absolutely the right choice for you. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I really love what I do. Yeah.
Yeah. So why did we start this podcast anyway, Rachel? Why don't you tell everybody that? What was the impetus behind us starting a podcast? Because Rachel came to me with the idea. It was her idea.
Yeah, because, I studied pediatrics, right? I learned all about babies, all about how they grow, how they develop. In med school, I did a bunch of rotations on labor and delivery. I've seen how many deliveries, C-sections and vaginal deliveries, and then finding out you're pregnant is just a different experience when it's you.
It changes everything when it's you. That's for sure. Yes.
It really does. Like all the things that you've learned, all the things that you tell people constantly, that it's your job to tell people and reassure people, when it's you, it's so different. It's like, oh my goodness, I don't know anything. And I remember calling you, how many times since I found out I was pregnant in June?
So many times. Then. Is this normal? Is this normal? Yes, that's normal.
I'm like, can I eat this? Is it okay? Are you sure? Okay, I'm going to eat it. Are you sure? So I've had so many questions. And then, also on the internet and your social media, once you start watching these videos, that's all that pops up. Are all these videos about, you shouldn't do this in labor and delivery. When you go to the labor and delivery unit to have your baby, you should have a birth plan. And these are the things that should be on it. And everyone's opinions are just out there.
Right. And everywhere. So many moms,
and they're all different.
That's right. And so many new moms and moms-to-be are getting all their information from social media, from mommy blogs and Instagram. And some of that information is good. Some of it is, but a lot of it simply isn't true. It's just bad information. So I think as doctors, we have a special point of view, and we can talk about evidence-based practices that we use. So that's a big reason for me wanting to start this, is to get good information out there for moms to be, so that they can make really good choices for themselves and for their children. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and even the pediatrics information that's out there, there's a lot going around about vaccines, about circumcisions, about tongue tie clippings. And, I always tell my patients I am a huge proponent that, this is your baby. You can make those decisions for you and your baby. But I just want you to have all the information that there is.
Right.
And then you can make the best decision with all the information that there is. Yeah.
Right. That's a really good way.
So that's kind of why. Yeah, and that's kind of why we wanted to start this podcast too, because, just giving all the information that we have from our different points of view, from our point of view being physicians, from our point of view being moms to be.
Right.
Yeah.
And during pregnancy, when you first find out you're pregnant, I'm sure this happened to you, Rachel. Everyone feels like they have a license to offer you unsolicited advice, right? They tell you your belly's too big or you're too small, or, oh, are you having twins? Or should you be eating that? And the other thing is patients love to tell horror stories about their births, right? Birth gone wrong.
Yes.
And how painful birth is. And of course it's painful, but worrying about it's not going to help any, right? And the other thing is other people's experiences are not your experience. They're not going to be your experience. So all the moms out there that are trying to make the best decisions for their babies, our goal is just to give them evidence-based, accurate information, like you said, so that they can make the best informed decisions. And that's why I'm really excited about these podcasts.
Yeah, me too. I agree. Okay, so that's kind of why we wanted to do it. The last thing we kind of wanted to chat about is what this podcast is going to be about, to kind of give you an idea of what to look forward to. So I think we are going to be doing a new episode each week. So look out for one every week. And they're going to discuss different topics, each one relating to pregnancy, delivery, postpartum, the newborn stage, raising babies, all the things. And yeah, we wanted to make the episode so that you can kind of skip around if you want to. So if you're in a part of your life where you are struggling with infertility, we will have an episode for that. So you can listen to that one. If you're just had a newborn, maybe listen to that one. So you can kind of skip around based off of what kind of information you're looking for. We also want to discuss kind of our own personal experiences.
Because we have lots of stories. We have lots of stories. Our family has been a little crazy.
Mom's going to blackmail me with some of the stories. I have a feeling.
Probably.
But yeah, we've got lots of crazy stories from our family. So we want to share some of those things too, to make things more relatable, for you guys as well. And then, like Mom said earlier, share some evidence-based medical recommendations so that you know why the things that your doctor is recommending, why they're recommending it, and why it's so important. Because I know as physicians, your doctor is going to tell you to do a lot of things, and a lot of times it feels like they just kind of expect you to do it, but we hope that we can give you like the why behind those kind of things.
Yeah, and we're also going to have special guests on, some experts from different fields like midwife, pelvic floor physical therapist, maybe lactation consultant, and psychiatrist or mental health counselor. And you never know, there may even be a special appearance from other family members from time to time. Like maybe we'll all get to meet baby JJ. Yay!
Yay! Hopefully soon. I'm so uncomfortable. Yeah, and then we also, we really want to get into some of the tougher topics too, like miscarriage, infertility, vaccines, which has become a tougher topic over the last couple years, childhood diseases, and like so many more things. I think we have pretty good experiences with all of those things too, so we could share some personal stuff with that as well. Yeah, but just contact us with any questions or topics you want us to talk about too. So if there's something that you don't see an episode on, definitely reach out to us. Email us. We have an Instagram. You can direct message us. We have a Facebook. You can also message us or leave a comment. And we would really love to hear from you. But anyways, I'm super excited that you guys are going to come along with us on this journey and my journey to having a baby for the first time. You know, all the anxious questions that I'm going to be annoying my mom about in the next couple months to years, I'll bring you guys along with us. So it should be super fun.
Awesome. So we look forward to seeing you all next week. And yeah, check us out next week. Yay.
See you next week. Bye.